to a planetarium. Let's do that. Planetarium, you know, this museum with the stars, a place where you can see stars, something like that. Okay, good. Raise your hand if you really liked it. Whoa, that's a lot. Great. So space enjoyers are here. Okay. Raise your hand if you're interested in learning more about space exploration. And if you really like this topic. Oh, guys, you're really curious. That's great. We're going to talk about interesting stuff today because I have prepared 3 pieces of news for you about space. Okay. Now, raise your hand if you believe in extraterrestrial life, which means life outside our planet. Wow, that's a lot. Okay. We're going to have some interesting discussions today. Okay, good for you. Now, raise your hand if you are excited about the future of space travel and space tourism. Wow. Okay, great. Good for you that you're so curious and excited. Okay, guys. Then we're going to start, and first I'm going to explain you the rules. I'm going just to tell you whatever we are going to do today, and then we're going to have some more discussions. So first, let me share the screen and tell me whether you're able to see my screen.
May I have a question?
Yeah.
It's about astronauts and cosmonauts, because to my understanding, astronauts are always referred to American or European people who go to space, and cosmonauts are specifically Russians. At least this is my understanding, because whenever I hear, for example, Americans talking about space travel and these space programs, they always specify whether it was done by cosmonauts or astronauts. So it seems to me that it's like a question whether you just want to go to space or just want to go to space specifically from America or Europe.
I guess it is a language-related topic because we have, in English, we have the word space, right?
Yeah, this is why I asked, because I would really, I mean, could you maybe confirm or like disregard my suspicion?
Yes, I confirm it, because in Russian we have cosmos, and we treat it the same as people treat space. So in Russian, cosmonaut is an astronaut, literally.
Yeah.
But in English, that would be an astronaut, because astronaut is more about space-related topics, and cosmos is more about a philosophical notion of order in the whole world. So it's a little bit less scientific and a little bit more philosophic, and it has its roots in Greek stuff. So it's a little bit less about science. That's why in Russian that would be cosmonaut. But frankly speaking, in the news, I would just say they all are named as astronauts, and that's it. So it's not like there's no big division in cosmonauts and astronauts. I would even say that cosmonaut just doesn't sound really naturally. Well, perhaps because it's not natural for English language. It's more of a Russian notion, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. It was just I remember that every time Americans talk about like Russian space exploration, they always say cosmonauts specifically, or astronauts. And this is why I was curious about it. For them, it seems it's important.
Well, I would say it's more or less now everybody is an astronaut, but like 20 years ago, yeah, they would treat it as a cosmonaut because it was actually important in terms of the space race. Yeah. So in terms of the space race, yes, a cosmonaut would be a Russian astronaut, and an astronaut would be a non-USSR astronaut. So, but that is a little bit obsolete as for now. So they just treat it as astronauts usually in the news, I would say.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's start with the rules. So can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Great. So regarding the structure, we're going to start with some warm-up questions. We're going to spend some time discussing questions that I'm going to send you in our Telegram and here in the chat here in Zoom as well. Then, after the discussion, I'm going to retrieve you back and we're going to stay here in the main room. We are going to discuss some interesting pieces of news regarding space and space exploration, whatever. Then we're going to cover some interesting vocabulary. And with this vocabulary, you're going to receive one more set of questions. So you're going to have one more discussion, and this discussion will involve some of the new vocabulary. Then, regarding the rules, so when you are in a breakout room, you have to speak because that is a speaking club and you're here for the only goal of speaking. That's why I want you to not give simple answers with just yes or no or I don't know. Try to avoid doing that because I really want you to try to engage in a conversation. Moreover, if you're a very talkative person, make sure that your partners get their turn to speak as well, because everybody wants to speak. Please be patient. Sometimes your partners might need more encouragement from you to start speaking and engaging. Try to encourage your partners to speak as well. Try to encourage them to voice their opinion. And do not sit in silence. Even if you don't know what to discuss, even if you don't have any idea whatever you can cover else, just try to speak on the topic, or not on the topic necessarily, but just try to speak with your partners because, well, that's the speaking club. That's what we're supposed to do here. Now, regarding the rooms, I am opening the breakout rooms and you are able to pick a breakout room according to your level, which means rooms 1, 2, and 3 are for beginners. That would mean that if your level is A2, you should opt for rooms 1, 2, 3, something like that. If your level is C1, something like that, you should opt for a room higher than room number 15. So that should be 16, 17, 18, and whatever we have from there. Now, in order to pick a breakout room, you have to find a button that is called in Russian «Сессионные залы». That is a 4-square button. Sometimes it is very hard to find it. So if you're having troubles with finding the button, please tell me, and I will just put you to a breakout room. Tell me your level. I'm going to help you. I'm going to put you to a breakout room according to your level. Now, if you don't like your room, if you think it is very hard for you or it is not good enough for you, you can pick a different room. So you don't have to stay in the same room all the time. You can pick a different room. Everything is up to you. So you'll be able to do that. Now, regarding more rules here about these, yeah, you can change the room. Now you have to, well, see the amount of people in the breakout room. And when you see a breakout room with more than 5 people, do not enter the breakout room because that is an overcrowded room. And I want you to work in rooms of 3, 4 people. That's it. So if you see a room with 5 or more people, please avoid it. But sometimes rooms of 5 people, they happen to be organized somehow, and you might be unexpectedly placed in a different room. Do not be afraid. That is just me. I'm going to be rearranging overcrowded rooms because I have to. I don't want you to sit in groups of 6 people and speaking just one sentence in 5 minutes. So I'm going to be rearranging rooms with 5 or more people. And I want you to try to avoid rooms with more than 5 people first. But then if you are in a room with 5 or more people, I'm just going to rearrange it and do not be afraid of it. That is not a glitch. That's just me. I'm replacing you. Okay, then if you have been accidentally kicked out of the conference, do not be afraid. Once again, you can just contact me or Lisa or write in our Telegram. It would be better to do that in Telegram, by the way, under the last post. Just write it in Telegram in the comment section. Write your nickname here in Zoom that we would be able to put you back. So contact us and we're going to help you and we're going to bring you back. Now, do you have any questions regarding the rules? Anton, do you have a question?
Yes, hello. Where is room selection?
Not yet. I haven't opened them yet, so I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you once I open the breakout rooms. So now we are going to discuss the questions that you're going to have there. First, here we are. Have a look. We're going to have this first set of questions, 9 questions over there. But before we discuss the questions, I want you to understand there are some notions that might be difficult, a little bit difficult. So first, let's just cover them. Well, I guess infinity, everybody knows, but still infinity is when something is without any limits. So that would mean in Russian, бесконечность. Then we have to stargaze or stargazing. Stargazing is literally observing the stars. So for example, you have this night, cloudless night, and you can stargaze, which means you can observe the stars, you can see the stars. Then we have constellations. Constellation is a group of stars that is not like a literal group of stars, but that is something that you see as a group of stars. You see a certain pattern. So in Russian, that would be созвездие. It's not a literal group, but it just seems to be a pattern of stars in the skies. And we have to witness, that would mean just to see something personally, and to witness something firsthand. Once again, firsthand, that would mean personally. Firsthand, that refers to your personal, original experience at this point. Well, extraterrestrial life, we've already covered this one, but extraterrestrial life refers to life outside of our planet. So that would be внеземная жизнь. So terra is like the Latin word of earth, and extra refers to something that is from outside. Then we have evolve. Evolve would mean to develop, and we have addressing environmental challenges. That would mean to address something, that would mean to deal with it, or at least to pay attention to a certain problem. So you either give attention to a problem or you deal with a problem. And environmental challenges are just existing crises and problems in the environment. Now, I'm going to send you the questions. I'm going to do that here in the chat, and I'm going to do that in our Telegram as well. After that, I'm going to open the breakout rooms. First, let me send you the questions here, and you have to tell me whether you're able to see them now. You see the questions? Okay, great. Now, I'm doing that in the Telegram. So you can see that under the last post in our Telegram channel. And I'm opening the breakout rooms. So we have so many people today. I think I'm going to have some extra rooms. First, let me open them. Let it be 21. And if you're having any troubles with picking a breakout room or entering a breakout room, just let me know. But now you're supposed to just push the button with the sessione zale thing, or the breakout rooms button, and then you have to pick a breakout room according to your level. So if you're having any troubles or if you have any questions, just tell me. I'm going to help you.
Hi, I'm sorry. I still couldn't pick the room, like there are no buttons.
Just tell me your level, I'm gonna put you somewhere.
C1.
Okay, wait a second. Yeah, wait a second. Here you go.
Thank you.
And I can't to find the button too.
Don't worry.
Oля, maybe can you open your presentation with information about English level and rooms, because it's hard found.
Wait a second, because I have to first. I will put Eugenia somewhere.
Sorry. Can you open your presentation with slide when information room and English level?
Yep. Wait a second. Just wait a second.
I found.
Thank you.
I can't found a button too.
Here it is. Well, just tell me your level and I'm going to pick a room for you. Everything that starts from room number 1 is
an opinion.
Well, I guess Alexander gonna be the first because he was the first people.
Why not infinity? It's probably very hard to understand what is infinity, because it is impossible to have experience with it on the earth. But why not? Why not? I don't know how to explain.
How do you feel yourself if you know that aliens live on other planet? Or somebody else or something else live near us.
It is difficult because I don't know how it looks. And it is,
don't you feel some scary? Yeah, scary of them.
It's probably more scary to path to another planet. Because it is the same as a plane. It is the most dangerous part of the flight. It is start and finish.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Кисель.
Yeah, I guess this philosophical concept, it's not only about the space. It's you can apply these in a different realms of our regular life. For example, we don't really know about abilities of our minds, and I guess in the future we can explore more. And this question about the infinity of our abilities by ourselves, and it's quite the same, I guess, term, like we exploring the infinity in space. And yeah, I probably accept all these theories, and I feel myself good in this question. Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Other guys, Svetlana, Sasha, do you have something to add?
Maybe you can share your feelings. You looks like you are a manager for power groups.
A manager, yeah, I was a manager, so sometimes, yeah, I use this skill. I often, not often, sometimes when I feel sad or upset, I start thinking about space, about infinity in space. You know that you are just 1 cent in this world. Your life, it's a big thing for you, but in general, if we take all the space, our earth, infinity, it's nothing. So when I have some kind of problem, I think, oh my god, Vika, it's just a little problem in all this huge world. So it's not so big as you think. So it can calm me. When I have some problems, I started to think about this space and infinity stuff, and it helps me really.
It is a very philosophical question.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We are able to believe them. That's okay. Next, please. Oh, Zoya, hello.
Hi. Which question are you discussing at the moment?
We are discussing about the first question.
What is your earliest memory?
How does the concept of infinity in space make you feel?
Is this the yes, sorry. How it makes me feel? It's really hard to wrap your head around this idea of infinity. And yeah, I regularly try to imagine how actually it would feel, and how it maybe not feels, but yeah, the infinite universe, it's something that very difficult to really understand. How is it possible? Like, if it's infinite, there are no limits at all, no borders. I don't know. It's for me, it's still a big question and a big enigma. How even to think about infinity in space, at least in the universe.
I think that's absolutely fine, just to think and just to have an opinion like I don't know, because I've never asked myself questions like this. How does this concept of infinity in space make me feel? That's why I can't say that this actually bothers me a lot. I can understand that infinity is like the idea of something that has no end. So it can be larger just because we can't give an estimate assess about the universe. So you can't say what is the size of the universe because there is a concept of infinity in space. So we can't really say what is the size, but we may feel insignificant in comparison with the whole infinity. It's like
frankly speaking, I feel insignificant even thinking about the size of Milky Way, for example. We are so insignificant, even in the scale of our galaxy.
Yeah, even if we compare ourselves with the whole planet, we're still insignificant.
Yeah. I mean, our whole planet is very insignificant in the galaxy, and the universe is just the thing is that the universe it's on one hand eternal without borders, but on the other hand it's still expanding, so it's very hard to somehow match these ideas.
Yes, and it's not fully explored by people, and I don't think we will ever be capable of exploring the whole universe just because, as you said earlier, the universe is expanding.
Yeah, maybe in abstract ideas, like in these abstract concepts that it's infinite but still expanding, in the laws of universe existence, like how it was created, Big Bang. But to actually feel it, I don't think that we could be able to do this ever.
And by the way, what was your earliest memory or experience related to space?
I can't say for sure. I remember that when I was 5 or something like that, I also, like many people, dreamt about becoming a cosmonaut. But why I decided, maybe I watched some, TV shows or movies about space. I really don't remember, but I definitely remember at some point, very early in my life, I wanted to become a cosmonaut.
Oh, that's interesting, actually. Because if we talk about me, I'm not a big fan of space, and I don't actually like cinema about space, aliens, and stuff. So I think the earliest experience related to space for me is just watching a movie that has something with aliens or space. Like I remember the movie with Matthew McConaughey, but I don't remember the name of the movie. Maybe it was Interstellar.
Yeah, it was Interstellar, I guess, because it's like, I think the only space movie that he started.
Yeah, maybe. That was a nice movie, but I can't say I feel interested in space, like in a system. So I'm interested in astrology, but astrology isn't the same thing as like exploring the space, in my opinion.
Definitely not.
Okay, so Sasha, maybe you have something to say about the topic or the second question.
Is Sasha with us?
Yes, sorry, I just
great.
untoggle my microphone button. It's on the other screen. That's why I just thinking too long. Yeah, I also remember, except the Interstellar, there was Armageddon in 1998, if I'm not mistaken, with the Bruce Willis and some other guys. And like a kind of when some, I don't know what, satellite or some kind of piece of piece of piece of Earth, I don't know, like starts.
It was kind of a meteor
Yeah.
that was about to strike Earth.
Yes, exactly. So and that was, and literally, you see, when Zoya told us that she want to be the cosmonaut astronaut, I was wondering, because it's not like it's kind of exact job or exact occupation. It should be kind of they have their own specification, right? If I'm not mistaken, like you're a biologist, you are a technical guy, you are for health care or whatever. So
as far as I know, usually in these teams of astronauts, cosmonauts, some are like the head of the team is professionally a pilot, a professional pilot, and very highly qualified pilot. And there are also several people who are like the main profession is maybe science, biology, whatever, and they just send to this mission to do some research.
So are you wanted to join to a team as a pilot or some other?
When I was 5, I don't think I knew this kind of details about space exploration. It just looked very cool and, I don't know, poetic, something like that.
Because
I don't know. Is it possible to join the team and just to go to space? Is that so easy?
For scientists, yeah. First of all, of course, you need to undergo very strict, rigorous physical checkup and mental, I guess. But now for tourists, very rich people, essentially, it's also possible.
Space tourism, yeah, it's developing. And maybe someone stargaze or try to identify constellations. It's like our third questions, but I really have nothing to say just because I feel so indifferent to the topic of space, but I'm ready to hear the experience that maybe you had with that.
I can say that when I was a kid, my mom would often took me for a walk in the evening and showed me some constellations. She's not a big specialist in them, but I remember from very early, again, Great Bear, Большая Медведица, and she showed it to me, and Orion. And these are.
Where do you live, by the way? I'm sorry.
Sorry?
To see these constellations, where do you live? To just to look at them.
In the northern hemisphere. They are visible all over northern hemisphere. Yeah. So yeah, these are essentially two constellations that I know very well, and maybe not much apart from that.
Yeah, at least you know some constellations. I also know their names, but I've never stargazed. I mean, like stars that they're at the sky, so you can look at them. But that's not the same experience as you had, for example, identify constellations.
In English, I see they call them Ursa Major.
Ursa Major.
Yeah, like Ursa, like from French.
Yeah, from Latin.
And French also, yeah.
Yeah.
So I do the same. Yeah, when I was a kid, I was looking up to the sky and see this Ursa, the small Ursa and the big Ursa, and I was always wondering, like there's a lot of Soviet books which tells you how to orient yourself according to these two constellations, going to the north, and when you got this a little bowl in the big bowl in the major and small Ursas. And there was a kind of fun stories about that. We also have, in Soviet Union, they have all this stuff with the postcards when they show kind of, how the constellations represent by the stars and by the kind of stories associated with the, I don't know what, ancient mythology, whatever. So that's also kind of story. There's a lot of stories. The people trying to. It looks like people trying to remember the stars, right? And they start making them kind of associated with the kind of animals or kind of astrology stuff.
Yeah, it was essential for traveling in that time to remember the stars and constellations.
And I guess with the current technologies, it could be possible to send some kind of, maybe bigger drones with the, solar batteries or sort of solar panels who will, I don't know, who will investigate and research this or that star or this or that constellation, according to some kind of program, I guess.
There is Hubble telescope. I think it's currently installed in the International Space Station, and it produces a lot of space images about galaxies outside the Milky Way and the stars and whatnot. I think it's like the main source of information for us at the moment, Hubble. But there are, of course, others also, telescopes.
It's like the coolest tool you can use to explore the stars from the Earth. And maybe you have some space event or phenomenon that you want to witness firsthand. It's our fourth question. I don't even know some space events or phenomenon. It's like Solstice, but Solstice, you can witness it and it happens.
Sorry?
Solstice.
What is Solstice?
It's like bloody moon.
Bloody moon.
Yeah. It's like solar eclipse, I think. A solstice, it's солнцестояние.
Okay.
It happens like 2 times in a year, so that's not actually
but
phenomenon.
It's not really, I think, a space event. It's just like an Earth event, more or less, I guess.
It's space event because it's connected with the sun.
Yeah, but it's connected with the position of the Earth in regards to the sun. So it's more about the movement of Earth, and not whatever. I mean, the most phenomena that we can witness, I guess, we witness from time to time, like solar eclipse and moon eclipse and whatnot. Probably like a fall of some huge meteor would be cool to witness, but again, you wouldn't want this to happen because the consequences would be too dire. So better not to witness it.
Yes, it's a bit disastrous, and you couldn't predict the consequences of this event. So that's not something you want to witness. Just maybe because that's really the end.
Yeah. Sasha?
Yeah, I'm just looking. You say about solace, and I was looking for what does the solace mean. Eclipse, I see the kind of Google tells me where the eclipse, the date of the eclipse of 2024. The last one was, if I see it was in April, and they see the also geographically every piece of where can you see this stuff from Canada, Mexico, United States.
I think you can witness a lot from Australia or New Zealand. Like they always witness some space events.
I guess that one of the space events that maybe most people would like to witness is Aurora Borealis, because it's beautiful and not harmless. I saw it one time actually, and I think I would really love to go to a place like very high up in the north or down in the south to see it more and in its full glory. So yeah, Aurora Borealis definitely.
It's like the star?
It's Северное сияние.
Okay.
Южное сияние.
Yeah, okay.
It's really beautiful.
Do you have any interesting link, channel, or I don't know, like web address where you probably find some interesting information about Solus or Soltus?
That was a question for me.
For everyone, I guess. I mean, maybe
I don't.
Because right now I'm just looking at this time and date, and it's interesting. They have the solar and lunar eclipses worldwide to the next 10 years. So I guess maybe for other events, there also exists some kind of resource.
If I remember correctly, the summer solstice happens on the 22 of June, and the winter happens somewhere in December, if I'm not mistaken.
It was on 21st of June.
Okay,
So
yeah, like the night between 21st and 22nd.
Are you talking about this year?
No, it's every year because it's really the longest day and the longest night. It happens at the same time every year because it's due to the movement of Earth. Okay, maybe we should talk about extraterrestrial life.
Yeah, sure. Do you believe in it?
No.
Yeah, that's actually the only question I have, just because I can't say that it happens. Just because you can be sure of something, you don't have any proofs. Like they actually have proofs. Scientists say that they found some extraterrestrial life on Mars or on Moon, but like
yeah, if we're talking about bacteria, maybe some very, very simple organisms, and there are even theories that the life on Earth emerged not like from Earth, but was got here from other planet, maybe Mars, but again in the form of very simple organisms, bacteria or something. It's like a way of dealing with this big question of how life emerged on Earth. Or maybe it was just transmitted from other planet, but how it emerged on other planet. So yeah, of course, how scientists say, it's very unlikely that we, like, the Earth is the only inhabited planet in the whole universe. But again, we don't have proof of anything other than some bacteria existing anywhere.
And we still can be sure it wasn't transmitted from another planet. So
yeah, even from Earth.
Yeah, the first source. Yeah. So what was the first planet that brought life to other planets? And unfortunately, scientists haven't found that yet.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just only a theory about extraterrestrial life, but no one knows exactly where did it happen.
Yes.
It's hard to witness with that amount of infinite constellations. So even though we don't know something, doesn't mean that it does not exist.
No, it's true, but we can explore at least like for life only for now planets that are in our solar system, and not even planets that are very far from us. Only Mars and Venus, I think. So, like, as far as I understand, scientists could say which planet could or might have Earth because the conditions there would allow it. But it's just, yeah, this planet might and might not. Who knows?
I'm just wondering when the scientists will get the opportunity to go into research in some other constellation and some other universes.
It will be very long after we'll be able to go to Mars or any planet in our solar system. We're so far from that.
So, do you think space tourism will become a popular and accessible activity in the future?
I think so. At least for rich people, it will be more and more affordable, I guess, because like with Space X company and other, it's becoming cheaper and cheaper. And I know that NASA now has plans to build some kind of space station on the moon. So at least going to the moon could become like actually a tourist destination. As for actually other planets, who knows when.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the price. If the price comes to, I don't know, $1,000, I will go.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't imagine that the price is gonna be less than visits in Turkey, for example. So it couldn't be that accessible and that affordable.
It depends. It depends how many companies competing with each other. If it's only one company, two companies, but there's several thousand, why not?
Yeah, and also how big the shuttle is. I mean, if it's like the modern planes that could, have like 100 people, it would become and will become cheaper. Not like now when it's like 4 people or something.
No, if we find out some type of fuel which is pretty much cheaper than existing.
Yeah, also.
Okay, we can just get our friends and split the price.
Yes.
Definitely.
Okay, let's wait for the others. Guys, welcome back. I'm sorry for interrupting you. I hope you were having some great discussions, but it's time to move on. And I have some news for you. So let's talk about the news.
No, we give it to you.
And please mute your mics. Just, wait, I can do that. The way I'm going to mute you all. Yeah, I guess everybody's muted right now. Okay, so we have news.
Okay.
No way. Okay. Once again, we're going to start. The first one, you might have heard of Virgin Galactics. That is a company that is, well, trying to launch its first commercial flights, and it is already, well, launched actually, the first one. I guess it was 2 weeks ago. So the first piece of news is about that. And here I have highlighted some of the words, some of the vocabulary we're going to cover together. The first one is commercial flight into space, which we really care about. I guess it's more or less clear what exactly a commercial flight is, but still you have to understand that that is a space flight that is operated by a commercial company, just as Virgin Galactic is. And the purpose of this flight is carrying people who are regular people, not professionals, not professional astronauts, carrying people into space, basically. And the Virgin Galactic thing is not only about just regular people, but it's more about researchers and just common people being involved in the researches that would be conducted as part of their, well, launches. So then we have this word to carry. To carry means, in terms of this space flight, just bring a person from one place to another place. And when a starship can carry you from Earth into space, that would mean that the starship would just take you from one place to another, basically to bring you into space. Then we have the edge of space, and that is the point where the atmosphere ends and the space begins. That is not a certain point. So we have this 100-kilometer line, but that is, well, I would say that is not 100% clear thing. So we don't have like a certain notion of edge of space. That is just something that we call like that. But basically that is the point where the space begins. Then we have an interesting word here. And have you ever heard of this one? And if you have, try to pronounce it correctly. Anyone? You're muted, by the way, so you can try to unmute you.
I can try to pronounce.
Okay, do that.
Kernel.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is that kernel, that's pronounced as kernel with the R sound in between. So you gotta pronounce it like that. That's a kernel. That is a military position. So that is like polkovnik in Russian. So if you say a word like that, that would be a colonel, not a colonel, something like that. A colonel with the R. And then we have to carry out research. So to carry out research would mean to conduct research. Basically, the piece of news is about the fact that they have already launched their first flight into space, and it was a crew of 6 people. So a crew of 6 people. Crew means a group of people who work together on a certain project or in a certain task. For example, here that was a crew working on a research set, some research experiments that they had to carry out. So a crew would mean like группа, a group of people working together on a certain task. Then we have take a leap. So what is a leap? Everybody can join here.
As far as I know, leap, it's a прыжок.
Exactly. And the good thing here is that basically when you say to take a leap, that means that you are making something risky, but that is a big step. That is why taking a leap to the edge of space, that is an interesting point, but you have to describe with the leap that you are making a risky thing, but that is a very big step in your life or career or whatever, but that is for the humanity. That is a very big leap for the humanity. So taking a leap to the edge of space is a literal thing, like прыжок в космос, but that is a metaphorical thing as well, because you are making a very big step for the humanity at this point. Then we have this word thereafter, which basically means starting from this point and after that moment, after that time. Then we have, so Virgin Galactic, this company that has launched the first commercial flight, they said that they have a backlog of 800 customers. So a backlog is a list of things. Usually we use this word when we're talking about our work. So in terms of working, that is a list of tasks that are not completed yet, and you have to take care of them. And in this context, that means that Virgin Galactic has a list of 800 potential customers who might have already paid for their upcoming flights. And now they have this list of 800 customers who are waiting for their turn to go into space. That means that is why it's not just a list, but a backlog. Apparently, these customers, they have already paid. And then we have a good thing, to charge. Can you explain to me what does that mean, to charge a certain amount of money?
Заряжать.
Назначать цену.
Yeah, exactly. You can charge your phone. That would be absolutely fine. But in terms of money, that would mean when you demand a certain sum of money. So you want to take the money and you say that, so that is the price that I want to take for my service or for my goods. So when you charge somebody a certain amount, that means that you demand this certain price, a certain amount of money. Then we have the second piece of news, which is about some damage. Sorry, I'm going to be muting you if you have some noises. So the second piece of news is about the damage. The damage that the astronauts' brains experience because of this space and their long travels. And apparently, if you travel and spend a long time somewhere in space, your brain is damaged a bit and it is going to take up to 3 years to recover from it. So what does that mean, to recover from something? That's right. So to become healthy again after a certain illness or an injury. And we have these findings come amid surge in private space tourism. So you see that that is connected with the previous one. Amid, what does that mean? Amid, a very good word.
Посреди.
Посреди. That's right, like in the middle. A surge in something. What's that?
Ну, типа вспышка или резкое увеличение чего-то в количестве.
Всплеск.
Всплеск, да.
Exactly. So a sudden and a really great increase in something. So pay attention to the preposition that we have here. A surge in private space tourism, for example, this Virgin Galactic thing. And one more piece of news for you about life on Venus. So there is this molecule, it doesn't really matter which one, but that is called phosphine, not phosphine, by the way, but phosphine. And this certain molecule is usually, I would say that is a sign of life somewhere on Earth. And some of the, there is a school of thought in astronomy that this phosphine can be an indicator of life somewhere out there, not on Earth, but somewhere in space. And this particular molecule was spotted in the clouds, not exactly on Venus, but somewhere in the clouds. And spotted, what does that mean?
Finding something.
Обнаружено.
That's right, correct.
Discovering.
Yeah, so that was discovered somewhere deep in the clouds of Venus. So intriguing part, what does that mean, an intriguing part?
Интригующий.
That's right. And the intriguing part about this phosphine is that there is a remote possibility of some form of life existence somewhere around the planet. So remote possibility, what does that refer to?
Not exact.
Очень небольшая вероятность.
Yeah, there is some chance, but a really small chance at this point. And the thing is, why we're talking about the clouds, not Venus? Because Venus is the hottest planet in the solar system. Solar system means Солнечная система. And the average temperature on Venus is 475 degrees. So even if there is some life, it's somewhere deep in the clouds, mayhap or may not. And if there is some life, it's somewhere in the clouds. So pay attention. It's about the questions that I'm going to send you right now, that we're going to discuss this some form of life on Venus, but that is more about the clouds. That is not about the surface of the planet. Now, we're going to do the following. I'm sending you the second set of questions, and you're going to discuss the second set of questions. Tell me whether, oh, sorry, wait a second. Are you able to see it here in the chat? Okay, great. I'm going to double it in our Telegram, but first I'm going to recreate the breakout rooms and let you there. Let it be 20. And here you go. You are supposed to be able to pick a breakout room as of now.
Olia, can I make a short statement about last news you have announced?
Yes.
About Venus is hottest. It could not be like this because of Mercury is closer to the sun.
No, I know that. I know that Mercury is closer to this, but the Venus, the planet, I mean, not the, but just Venus, the planet, it's the hot
flight. I mean, not by Virgin Galactic, because I distinctly remember several years ago, and actually quite long ago, there was an American tourist who was sent to the International Space Station, I guess, and it was like the first commercial flight. And since then, there were also a couple of commercial flights. So now that this Virgin company advertise itself as a like first commercial flight company, it's not entirely true. But I think that the more the better. The more companies like this, the more flights, the sooner it will become cheaper, at least for scientists and researchers to go into space more regularly. Not maybe for regular people.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Always a good idea to conduct commercial flights into space, even for tourists. I think in the age of scientific researchers, maybe these tourists can suggest any idea about improving the space environment and so on, because the inner side to this world can help to maybe researchers about the space. And Pavel, what about you?
No, I agree. It might help because now it's possible that a lot of different people can reach space, can fly. But I think that Virgin Galactic, yeah, they are great in that they made it possible to fly periodically every month. They plan to fly, as I heard, and every time, how many people they take? 4 or 6? 6 people.
In this article, I think it says 6.
So a lot of people. So it's great, yeah. But actually, in space, they spend maybe about couple of minutes. So when they don't feel their weight, so I don't know how. What is the term in English?
Like gravitation, you mean?
Zero gravity. Zero gravity.
Zero gravitation. Yeah, zero gravity. They can feel this condition just about 5 minutes, not more. And also they don't get orbit. It's just a ballistic trajectory when they leap, to the space, and not so far. It's about 40 kilometers. 40 kilometers. Of course, it's far, but some balloons can reach heights about 60 kilometers, as I know.
60?
60, yeah.
But not with people.
Yeah, of course, with scientific equipment to measure temperature, to measure solar particles, to measure winds, and something like that.
But at least they have the great view, the best view on the Earth.
Sure.
Yeah, about the zero gravity, I don't think that you even need to go to space to experience it, because they simulate it on Baikonur, and I know it's also kind of a even tourist attraction to go there and experience it, maybe even longer than these tourists had on Virgin Galactic, and they use this installation to shoot some movies about space, for example. So yeah, you don't need to spend that much money to experience zero gravity.
What do you mean? Water basins?
Sorry?
Water basins?
No, they. I'm not sure technically how they do this, but they definitely, without any water basins, they simulate the state of zero gravity. Maybe in the planes, or maybe they use some special equipment. I can't say for sure, but it's definitely done, and it's maybe not on Baikonur, but on Plesetsky Cosmodrome. But it's they do this on regular basis.
You can do this only using plane, and in Russia, as I know, you can. You can book such a flight just in military plane. So just you and the pilot. And you go to also ballistic trajectory to the height about 20 or 30 kilometers. And actually the sky looks dark, even in the afternoon. And after that, when you descend, you have about 30 seconds, maybe minutes, I don't know how long, when you have such kind of zero gravity, yeah.
I don't know about if it's only one person on the pilot, because I definitely saw some photos of a group of people being in the zero gravity and still...
maybe not in Russia.
Maybe you're right, it's not in Russia.
Other countries, I don't know, USA or United States or European countries, they have a large airplane where a lot of people who preparing to the flight, the space flight, can train. Yeah.
It also exists in the form of entertainment, when the person can go to the tube with the field of the air, like pressured air, and it can for 15 minutes just feel the zero gravity itself.
It's not zero gravity.
It's not?
No,
it's a simulation of zero gravity.
No, it's not a simulation of zero gravity. It's simulation of flight, free flight in atmosphere, when air very hardly blows in your space. It's kind of interesting experience. I tried it.
Oh, really? Where?
Yeah, in several places. I'm a constructor of such
Oh, wow.
things. One of.
We're talking to the right person.
Yeah, the expert here. This is your main job, like?
No, it's just I don't know how to say. It was my main job. I built a lot of these things, but I'm not an aerodynamic engineer. I'm an electrical engineer and software developer for that things.
Cool. Maybe Sasha wants to add something. Sorry.
Sasha was just searching for, like this link that Oля just shared with us with this company, Virgin blah blah blah, and actually I see that they have the jobs right now. I just send you the link in the chat. Yeah, so technically, if we have enough, skills and enough charisma, probably we can join this company.
As what?
If you look at my link, what I just shared.
Yeah, I'm looking at it at the moment.
Yeah, there's some kind of engineering opens some space missions and safety and some other corporate functions, I guess. Corporate. So I guess everyone can find themselves in this company if you have enough desire and you really want. Even you see, there's an internship, if I'm not mistaken. So technically, everyone can try.
Should you be in the United States?
I'm pretty sure about it.
I see they say something about Mexico right now. They said 2 locations in Mexico. I mean, one in the US, definitely, yeah. They have 6.
Because I tried to find some information about jobs on SpaceX site, and it was obligatory requirement. You have to be in the United States, and even maybe you have to be a citizen, United States citizen.
Probably.
Because space connected to military projects and something like that.
Yes. But Virgin Galactic, as far as I know, I'm not sure about that. Isn't it a British company?
Actually, yeah, maybe.
So maybe you would have better chances with them.
Yeah. Richard Branson is British citizen.
Yeah. Okay, are we moving on?
Yeah, that is American company, not.
Oh, American. Okay. But Branson's definitely British, unless he also an American citizen.
It's just a question of jurisdiction, nothing else. I mean, who cares? Is that LLD or LLC?
So the second question, I think we discussed it already about is it a good idea? So the third one, if you were to go to space on a commercial flight with a crew of 6 people, who would you take?
This question reminds me of the question from the childhood.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of pointless to ask if you going to like answer my family or my friends. Maybe we should like answer which famous people we would take with us, people who like everybody knows.
I would say professionals. That's the only answer.
In which sphere?
I understood it in the wrong way. Firstly, I thought that which company you will take to have their service. So SpaceX or Virgin Galactic.
I think first it should be professional from the medication sphere, like healthcare.
A doctor, definitely a good idea.
Yeah.
A professional pilot.
Will be good, yeah.
Skydiver.
A good engineer like Pavel. If something goes wrong.
Who else?
So, Sasha, will you add something?
No, I said as I told you, professionals in any sphere. I mean, if you're not a professional, there's no way to take that person. I'm still looking at these locations, and I see London there.
You're more interested in getting a job there.
You know,
no, but I mean, in any sphere, if it's only people on board of this spaceship, let's say, it can't be people from any sphere. Like I don't know, a movie star. You need a pilot, a co-pilot, I guess, and an engineer, a medical doctor would be. Yeah, probably useful at least to have them. I don't know.
A violin player.
Yeah, a violin player.
We can invite Elon Musk just for fun, just to talk with him.
Debatable how fun it will be.
He's a boring person.
Yeah. He only funny when he's high, as far as I understand, and if it's not allowed to be high on board, he won't be funny. Okay, maybe just move to the next question.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. Okay, how do you think space tourism will change in the future? I think it will be. It will move to space stations. Because there are a lot of space stations are building now commercial space stations. So I think in about 5 years we will have at least 2 commercial space stations more.
Do you know which company actually is building such a commercial space stations?
I forgot their names. It's not SpaceX. It's not Virgin Galactic. There are some less known companies, but they try to make something like one of them tried to make something with rigid body of the station. And another one develops inflatable stations.
I always thought that a space station is an extremely expensive project, and no commercial company could afford it.
It was extremely expensive before Elon Musk, because he showed everyone that he can build rockets with extremely less money.
Okay, but this company that is building, or that companies that are building these space stations, they would need some other like companies, maybe SpaceX, to bring their like building crew to space station, or
of course, yeah,
or maintenance crew. So yeah, it still would require like some extra.
It will cost not $400, but 2,000. So not 400.
200,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the maintenance of such a station would be very expensive, even.
It depends on your business model, of course.
Folks, I just shared the link. There's a couple of companies with which NASA already agreed and negotiated with. One of them is the Axiom's company, so they are planning or already doing some kind of space station, and the Sierra Space is another one. So you can look in the article actually. Nanoracks also.
But it says here, at least in the second link, then that this company, this senior officials, it doesn't say which company. So they were selected by NASA, and this means that they are paid by American taxpayers. So it's not really like private endeavor.
Why do you think they are not private?
I mean, it's private in the terms that the company and not the government is conducting it, but they are they're contracted by NASA. That means by the American government body, like SpaceX. Most of their flights were paid by NASA, which means by American taxpayers. So when they say that it's profitable when you get a government contract, but it's maybe not as profitable when you're dealing with just private clients.
But it's the first step. Look at the Tesla. Look at the Tesla and Elon Musk. For the first 12 years, it was absolutely bankrupted company. Only because
it was subsidized by American taxpayers, because at that time it was a lot of money that went invested into green technologies. Tesla, just as SpaceX, at least in their first years, were mainly maintained by taxpayer money.
Californian government, not U.S. government.
Okay, yes, Californian taxpayers' money.
But you see, they're moving from the just budgeting of the regular government stuff to their own possibilities.
No, I mean it's good if there will be several space stations, regardless of who is paying for them. At the moment, because of course it's the more the merrier, how they say, and the fact that the whole thing of space stations is expanding in quantity, it's good.
There will be, but just imagine yourself as an investor. For example, you have enough money, like you have 1 billion or 5 billions, and you can spend for the next space, I don't know, blah 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 project. So will you do it, or will you wait until because you have no idea, will it succeed or will it be like 100% failure? So I guess they looking at it and waiting for one of who will be kind of a leader in this industry. At the same time, they don't want to be kind of late.
Yeah, sure.
So because they see they kind of feel that this type of investment can be a lot of money.
So how do you think space tourism will change in the future?
It's already changing.
It's this question about that. I think that will be in stations. Mm-hmm.
I guess that it also will change in the fact that these I don't know, starships or whatever they are called, shuttles, they are now take people into space to these tours, tourist flights. They will become larger and will have more people on board, so the flights will become cheaper. But this is my guess.
Mm-hmm.
Or probably they find out some cheaper fuel, and there'll be more shuttles. I mean, like a bus or like a taxi going back and forth. So they need just a fuel. It looks like they need electricity, like the batteries in Tesla. So it doesn't mean
sure.
They need to kind of what?
I think that they use the cheapest fuel available now.
What's the cheapest fuel, by the way? It should be like high octane kerosene, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And it's not cheapest actually. I mean, cheapest between the kerosenes, but not cheapest if you're talking about like penetrating the oil stuff. It's still on the high demand of this oil stand. I mean, if you know what how they divide the oil by the categories of oil of fuels.
Mm-hmm. You can use hydrogen, but it's I think more expensive.
It's still risky.
Yeah, it's very risky.
Even though I see these hydrogen cars which going on in California right now, and we have several, hydrogen pump stations, like a gas stations. I know several of them in California. Some of them are going to be in Pennsylvania probably next year. But still, kind of a lot of questions. Toyota Mirai, if I'm not mistaken, was trying to do something in their car right now. And there's another car which is called Nikola. Maybe you heard about that? This trucking company.
Wasn't it that company that had kind of a fake project of developing some truck that they never actually produced?
Nikola?
So yeah, so it was like another scam.
I don't know about the company you're talking about. Nikola exists, and one of my co-workers were transport that type of cars. I saw it by my eyes. On the platform.
Let me Google it.
So they have huge battery on the back of the truck head, actually hydrogen and the regular.
Nikola Truck Company founder Trevor Milton is convicted in fraud.
They can convict them in whatever they want to convict, but the truck exists in at least 3, items.
Well, maybe they produced some real truck and then decided to fraud of allegedly fake truck demo, whatever. We shouldn't go deep into this.
They faked it till they made it.
Yeah, and they didn't made it.
Okay, next question maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay 450.
Me too.
450 for what?
For now, at least.
I think it's better to wait when the prices will be cheaper, as Zoya said, and pay not that price.
Yeah. Sasha, and you?
It depends on your budget, as I told you. If somebody will reimburse it, why not?
Yeah, sure. For some people like Elon Musk, it's I don't know, their income for one day maybe, and
if
they
you
wouldn't
are,
even notice.
I don't know, if you are a YouTuber and you can say like, okay, folks, I made several videos there, and after this video I will sell it to, I don't know, several billion of my subscribers. Why not? I will just refund it in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
At least one day astronaut, if you know such a blogger, YouTube blogger.
No.
I think that he bought one place in SpaceX
flight.
I guess if it will be Mr. Beast, he will definitely refund it in the next 5 days.
By the way, about Mr. Beast, I heard, I think it was he who confessed that he was invited, or maybe even he was supposed to participate in that submarine, very unfortunate submarine mission, and maybe he declined or whatever. But I think it was he who said that he could have become a passenger and a member of the crew of that submarine.
Yeah, that was a suicide, definitely.
Yeah. Next question.
What do you think about the findings that long space missions are damaging astronauts' brains? Would you still go to space if you knew that your brain would be damaged? So long travels damage brains. So touristic trip just for a week wouldn't impact a lot, I think.
I'm wondering which damage they mean, because if they mean damage from radiation, it's not only about brains, but the whole body. I don't know about brains. I remember reading about an astronaut who spent a about a year in space, and his eyesight was damaged. But I mean, apart from damage from radiation, what other damage they could mean?
Zero gravity. Zero gravity, because organism is not used to be in zero gravity a long time, so you. At least I know that bones.
Yeah.
There's and maybe something similar.
But again, how long do you have to spend to be in zero gravity to actually have some substantial or noticeable brain damage?
And as for commercial touristic space stations, at least one of them tries to make their station with artificial gravity.
Is
it
it
will
possible?
be spinning. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
It will be spinning.
I watched a video about it produced by some scientific journalists, and they totally debunked this idea.
How?
I don't remember. I could send you like a DM maybe on link with the link on that video. I mean, I don't remember the technicalities.
So it's the simple physics which is available for people since, I don't know, hundreds years. So I hope it will be possible. The main idea is to make it large enough. So if you will have, I don't know, even Starship rocket, it has diameter about 8 meters, and it's not too large to make artificial gravity useful enough. But if you will have large stations, it would be better. So inflatable stations looks more suitable for this.
Maybe the reason why these people thought it was impossible was exactly because how large it should be. It would require to be.
Maybe, yeah.
I can maybe find the link later and send it to the chat.
Better to send it to Telegram channel because this chat will be, you know, decent.
Yeah, I know.
40 seconds.
Already? Oh, okay, whatever.
A couple of seconds, I guess. I was also wondering
about aliens.
I was also wondering about this G forces into acceleration in the space. How do we feel about this stuff? How, you know, like 10G or more, and how not only our balls but other parts of our body, how we will feel after this stuff. And yeah, of course, you said the inflatable, more or less the bigger sizes of the starships, so better for regular dwelling, but what's the regular influence on the people's body?
Okay, well, let's wait for the others. Just wait a second. Okay, everybody, welcome back. So I hope you had some great conversations, even though sometimes it wasn't about space. I was traveling, you know, around the breakout rooms. Not everybody was talking about space, but anyways, those who had a conversation, that was the point. We were supposed to just have a conversation. And those who were having the conversation about space, I hope you enjoyed it. Anyways, before you go, I have to take a picture of you. So please put on your smile. You can send a reaction here. You can just smile. I don't know. Just something like that. And I'm going to take a picture of us. I'm preparing as well. Okay, ready. Great. Everything is ready. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming today. I'm going to send everything in our Telegram channel, so you will be able to read not the documents, but those are just articles. You'll be able to receive the articles based on which I just wrote the pieces of news. So you'll receive the articles, you'll receive everything that we've discussed today, and next time, see you next Sunday. See you next Sunday, yeah. See you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for coming.
Actually,
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Goodbye.